Look at this snow, you guys. We are trapped inside and I am in my PJs, if you can't tell. So I thought this would be the perfect time to make a healthy potato chip out of kale. And if you follow any blogs or anything like that, I'm sure you have seen recipes for kale chips, but I found it took me a really long time of making them before I really perfected a recipe that I liked, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I really don't like kale that much either, but when it's in a smoothie or a chip like this, like baked up, they are so good and super addicting. So your main ingredients are a bunch of kale, and I usually grab about this much, and they do need to be destemmed, which I'll show you how to do in a second. You also need olive oil and kosher salt. These are the main ingredients, but I also like to add to mine a little bit of garlic powder and a bit of fresh lemon juice. I just think that it cuts down on the bitterness of the kale and makes it super, super yummy. So you want your kale chips to be about the size of a potato chip, so like a bite-sized piece. So what I do to remove the stems is I just kind of run my finger down the side, and then I just kind of take out the stems that way. And then I'm just going to take my olive oil and I'm going to put about a tablespoon on there. You really don't want to put too much olive oil. You can always add more. I feel like that's the mistake that I made a lot when I first started making these, was I tried to put too much oil and then they just get really soggy and they don't get crispy and chip-like. But I'm just going to add a little bit of kosher salt, and then I also have some garlic powder in here, and I'm just going to sprinkle that all over the kale and then just work it in. Then you want to line a baking sheet with parchment paper and put your kale on. Now a key is to make sure that the kale is curly side down, and that's just going to make sure that the air is going to circulate through it and it's really going to crisp up. You also want to ensure that the kale isn't touching itself, because then it's just going to make really soggy spots. And I usually do about 2 rounds of this. That will cook up all of my kale, or bake it, I guess. Now I'm just going to stick this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. And you really want to make sure to watch this. If you miss it, it's going to burn. Put it for like 8 minutes at first, and then you can, do 30 seconds more, because with this recipe, 30 seconds more makes a difference. So these are fresh pulled from the oven, and these are just perfect. They're nice and crispy, and they're just like a little bit of almost like a purpley green. That's how you know that they are awesome. If you have any kale chips left over, you can take an airtight container and just put a little bit of dry rice at the bottom and just stick them right inside, and they will keep for a few days, and this will make a good snack for tomorrow. So here is a delicious kale chip. They're so crunchy, they are so good, and super budget friendly. This entire recipe probably cost me around like 50 cents or so, so give these a try. I bet I'm making you crave them right now just by watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!